Breaking news. When a Putin critic is sentenced to prison in Russia, the United Kingdom responds with sanctions. The British government has spoken out strongly against the deplorable sentencing of prominent dual national dissident Vladimir Kara-Murza, imposing sanctions on key figures responsible for the politically motivated conviction. This action was taken after a Russian court upheld Kara-Murza's 25-year prison term for treason and other charges, rejecting his appeal. As a result of the court's ruling, 3 judges, 2 prosecutors, and an expert witness have had their assets frozen and have been banned from leaving the country. Judges Vitaly Belitsky, Ekaterina Dorokina, and Natalia Duder of the Moscow City Court and the Basmany District Court, respectively, all played key roles in extending Kara-Murza's pre-trial detention. Despite Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, the 41-year-old dissident, who has dual citizenship with the United Kingdom, has been an outspoken critic of President Vladimir Putin's regime. Kara-Murza's arrest occurred only hours after he appeared on CNN and referred to Russia as a regime of murderers. His unwavering commitment to speaking out against the Kremlin attracted attention and led to his arrest. Besides Kara-Murza, the British government has sanctioned 2 prosecutors and an expert witness, who were involved in fabricating evidence to support his detention. The Foreign Office has been very clear that Kara-Murza's persecution stems from his activism against the war and his opposition to the Russian regime. The UK Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, has called for the immediate release of Kara-Murza after the rejection of his appeal was criticised as desperate and unfounded by experts around the world. Sanctions are a strong statement of the UK's position that human rights violations and politically motivated convictions will not be tolerated. Despite international condemnation and calls for justice, Vladimir Kara-Murza's case illustrates the ongoing repression faced by opposition figures in Russia. The bold measures taken by the British government send a message of solidarity with those defending human rights and democracy in the face of Russia's growing authoritarian regime. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in an interview with the Brazilian TV channel Globo News on Tuesday that Vladimir Putin will not be around long enough to wage a protracted war against Ukraine. On being asked if Ukraine could go the way of Syria, where Russia has been fighting a proxy war for nearly 30 years, Zelensky responded as follows: "Putin can't last that long in power. He didn't fight against the Syrian government as aggressively as he is now. Opening square bracket ellipsis closing square bracket. He won't have the strength to keep it up. Obviously, he won't live another 30 years, he's going to die. He won't live another decade, though. He's no longer the same persona he once was." The Ukrainian leader added that the Russian army as a whole is currently deployed against the Ukrainian military, but that the latter's core has been destroyed. The Kremlin, he said, needs a pause, so that it can gather resources and political support from anywhere in the world. However, according to Zelensky, Kiev will not grant this request. Ukraine will take action. He vowed that the enemy would not be allowed to regain the strength it had before the outbreak of all-out war.